Hi, BKRA. I'm chatting today with Bob Longlade. He's a BKRA officer and secretary and also one of our COVID champions. Today, we're going to be talking about the COVID policy that the committee created because we want to reassure parents that your child's safety is really our #1 priority this season. As well, the document, which can be found on our website, is comprehensive. So we want to summarize the main points for you. So, hi, Bob.
How are you? I'm good.
Good. How are you? Good.
Great. It's a challenging year.
Yeah. Well, I first wanted to say thank you because I know to you and to the committee, because I know you guys put a lot of work in. And as I've discovered being on the executive for the last couple of years, organizing a ringette season in normal times is lots of work. So the added complexity this year is made it very challenging. So thanks very much.
Oh, you're welcome. And you know, it's my first year on the executive, so I'm jumping into this. There's been a lot more meetings than I expected, right? Because of COVID regulations and
Yeah.
so many things going on, and it's a lot of moving parts
Fluid.
still.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk about 3 different elements of the COVID guidelines. So the BKRA policy, the ringette guidelines, and as well the arena rules, if we kind of know them. I know they're quite fluid. So did you want to start with the BKRA policy?
Sure. BKRA's policy is pretty synonymous with the Ringette Quebec. We've followed their guidelines to make our own. So there is the basic 4 questions. Do you have any symptoms? Have you been outside of the country? Have you been in contact with anyone who's tested positive, or those basic things that maybe soccer and softball and all these other sports have put in as standards. So we have all that, of course, and but a couple things that Ringette Quebec has advised or recommended we've put into place, such as having a COVID manager for each team. And also there's going to be consent forms this year so that your daughter will go to Ringette and be able to be helped on the ice by coaches that you're signing off, that they can be in contact if they get hurt on the ice. And also we're going to put a stress on maybe the team snap attendance. So this year will be important to know in advance, 48 hours in advance, if you are able to attend the game. So team snap will have a questionnaire before each game, and parents are going to have to be extra vigilant to tick off those attendance records for this year.
So it's going to be, and you have to confirm your attendance and also kind of answer the questions before each game in practice. Is that correct?
Correct. That is correct.
All right. Yeah. And that is, I imagine, for like arena, we're kind of following what the arenas are requesting of us, as well as, traceability.
Exactly. Yeah. So we will, that COVID manager of each team will take attendance, ask the questions, or we'll have the questions on TeamSnap, sorry, so they won't have to duplicate that. We'll also enforce social distancing in the dressing rooms, make sure the girls are staying apart, wearing their masks, as we're in a public space, so the girls will have to wear masks into the rink and while they dress, and then they can take them off as they get their helmets on. And also disinfect any equipment or what have you, and making sure the girls have their hand sanitizer and are disinfecting and getting in and out as quickly as possible, because the arenas will be disinfecting the rooms after each ice time.
Okay. And when you say masks, is it the same guidelines as the government has said, where it's strongly recommended, but it's reinforced at 10 or 12 plus, to 12 plus, I believe it is, or?
Yeah, they don't specify an age in the arena policies that I've seen. Kirkland says players are required to wear a mask.
Okay.
So I would say all ages probably should
Okay.
show up prepared with a mask.
That's the thing, yeah. So as long as we tell parents, which is why we're doing this too, is just come with a mask because it's probably going to be required in most arenas.
Right. And the coaches are going to be wearing masks behind the bench while coaching games.
Mhm.
And Kirkland and Beaconsfield right now have different policies.
Okay.
For instance, Kirkland, you have access to the dressing rooms, but Beaconsfield, you don't. At the moment, you dress in the stands at Beaconsfield. And Kirkland is also allowing spectators, up to 50 spectators, for games of ages under U16.
Okay.
And Beaconsfield, at the moment, it says no spectators. So once you get your daughter all set, or maybe you show up in your equipment, and you're not allowed in the rink at the moment.
Okay. All right. So is it, I guess for the younger groups, maybe some of the practices will be at the arenas that are allowing spectators? Do you know?
Well, there is a exception we are working out with Beaconsfield, as Kirkland is only opening September 8th.
Okay.
And Beaconsfield, our warm-up sessions will start on the 29th of August, so next week already. And for convening purposes and tryouts and warm-ups, we're working out. They will allow a bigger group on the ice, and Excellence Ringette will run our warm-ups. But we're going to work out a plan to have maybe give pennies outside or have them hanging in the room, and we'll have a bigger group on the ice so that we are having a couple of evaluators up there so we can have a normal tryout.
Okay. Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe something that parents would be interested in, what happens if, somebody on a team, either the opposing or their team has got COVID or...
Yeah. So in the result of a positive test by a player, the parent will reach out to the committee, and there will be an email set up on the website.
Yeah, it's already there.
We are to keep the names anonymous at them. So the parent can contact us and say that the daughter tested positive, and we will reach out to the coach or the COVID manager of that team, and they will instruct the parents that, player on the team has tested positive. Now, it'll be up to the parents to take it from there. I can't enforce everybody to not play for 2 weeks and force them to have a test. They'll use their best judgment. I personally would take my daughter to go get a test, but that's me. If you have no symptoms and or the whole team has no symptoms and they haven't got tested and a few days have passed and they have a game or a practice, we are at the moment we will not
require
shut down a team for a positive test.
Okay, so you're not, I know, like, for example, some daycares require you have a negative test to be able to come back. That's not the policy at the moment. It's using the best judgment of the parents.
Yeah, I think for coming back, it'll be a 2-week period and a negative test, exactly.
Okay, for the player, but not the team.
For the player, yeah. And if an opposing player in a game tests positive, let's say from Katsite or Pierrefonds or what have you, we will be notified. And again, an email will go out to the coach saying that an opposing player has tested positive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Is there any other points that are kind of key that you want to get across? Consent form. No, to me those were the main elements that I wanted to address. But is there anything else?
Well, the consent form is just before our first skate.
Yeah.
We will not do that every single time. But I would like to mention we will definitely need volunteers. I'm actually doing the COVID safety as a softball parent, and
Okay.
it's really not that much work. You show up, make sure the girls are behaving, do the questions, make sure the attendance is taken. So we will definitely need people to step up, and I encourage you to get involved this year to help the girls have a great year.
So every team will have a manager and a COVID manager.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, hopefully that's 2 people.
Yeah.
If a manager can handle both jobs, it's probably doable, but we'd prefer to have, the more the merrier. It'll be easier to
Yeah.
manage. Yeah.
And maybe as a last little sidebar for people that don't know, right now we're in phase 4, which
Correct.
is teams will be able to play teams within our area. So for example, BK will be able to play Cat-Cité, Pierrefonds, Pointe-Claire, and that's where it stops at the moment.
At the moment, yes. So we are still waiting on Lac St. Louis for team sizes. As you know, or some hockey parents know, that looks like only 4 kids can be on the bench at the same time to have that 1.5 meters. So we're obviously would prefer to have 10 skaters on each. Still waiting on that. So as we move along, things can change, and we hope we can have a regular team and possibly move to stage 5 if we all keep doing our jobs, social distancing and wearing masks.
Yeah, sounds good. And
Yeah.
just to let parents know, we try to put as much information on the website as possible, either in the news section or we've created a COVID section, as well as through our Facebook, Friends of BKRA. Try to put as much information as we can there. So if you're not looking at those areas, it's a good place to sign up to get
Yes, I would encourage
information.
everybody to go through the BK COVID guidelines before the first ice time. And I think we're almost not happy about it, but we're getting used to this type of life,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But so it's there, it's common sense, it's, you know, like work policies or other sports policies. So
Yeah.
Yeah, but at least we're going to get to play ringette.
Exactly. Yeah. And just as a final note, like you said, Bob, the warm-up sessions start next Saturday, so the 29th of August, and more information to follow on times very shortly as the cities confirm with us our contracts.
Yeah, I'm excited. My daughter's
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah, I know. Good. Well, thanks so much, Bob, for chatting with me, and we'll see you shortly.
Great to
All right.
be on. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.